Hi, greetings. It's me, Dr. Paul Gerhardt, and this video is on APA writing heading levels. As a professor for almost 20 years, I've seen a lot of APA papers, and a lot of students do it right, and then a lot of students do it wrong. And I don't want any students in my classes to lose any valuable points because they don't have the right levels of headings or their papers aren't organized. So I went on the web and I found a bunch of sources to help you understand better how to do APA writing level headings. And I just want to talk mainly about level 1, 2, and 3 because those are the ones that you generally are going to be using in any papers. So I'll briefly mention levels 4 and 5, but generally speaking, you will only need level 1, 2, and 3 for any of the classes that you're taking for mine, and probably most of the papers that you write in any of your classes. So let me share with you what I've found on the web and see if this helps a little bit. So levels indicate the hierarchy of importance and scope of each heading and subheading. The extent of using different levels depends on the length and complexity of the paper. Usually short papers or articles use 2 or 3 levels, but longer papers necessitate up to 5 levels. Level 1 encompasses a broader topic, and levels 2 to 5 covers narrower and more detailed topic. And so here's what's really important to understand is you need a level 1 heading in order to have a level 2 heading, and then you need to have a level 2 heading in order to have a level 3 heading. So in other words, you just can't start with level 2 heading, which I see sometimes in papers, without having a level 1 above it. And you can't start with a level 3 unless you have a level 2 above it. And you can't go from a level 1 directly to a level 3. So they're all subcategories of each other. So you want to think about it in like a parenting situation. You have the grandfather, which is the level 1 heading. Then you have the parent, which is the level 2 heading. And then you have the child, which is the level 3 heading. So hopefully that analogy can help you better understand how to use headings. So here's some guidelines for you. Level 1 is a section heading. Level 2 is a subsection heading. Level 3 is a subsection of a subsection heading. Level 4 is a subsection under the subsection and subsection heading, and level 5 is a subsection under the 3 subsections of heading. And so I'll give you some examples about that if that's confusing you. So here's the general guidelines. No heading is needed for the first part of a paper, as it is already assumed that it is the introduction. If you want to put introduction, that's fine with me if you're in my classes. That really is up to your professor. Headings are proper APA guidelines. That's what the general rules are, not accompanied by letters or numbers. Again, my source for this is the APA.org website. So this is directly from the APA.org website, which is a wonderful source for you to make sure you're doing it properly. So again, no heading is needed for the first part of a paper, as it is already assumed as the introduction. Headings and subheadings are not accompanied by letters or numbers. Use as many levels as required in your paper to present the most organized structure. The same level of heading or subheading should be of equal importance regardless of the number of subsections under it. Use at least 2 subheadings for each section and subsection. Start with level 1 through 5. Paragraphs begin below level 1 and 2 areas for levels 3 through 5. Begins with line in line with the headings, and capitalize each word for levels 1 and 2, and I'll show you each of these specifically, of course. And levels 3 through 5, the headings are indented and end with a period, and only the first word is capitalized for levels 3 through 5. And these are some common mistakes that I see in papers from students. So here's what they look like, generally speaking. Level 1 is generally bold, centered, uppercase, and lowercase heading, and I'll show you what that looks like specifically. The exception to this level 1 rule is that the first heading in your paper is not bold, but it would be centered. and start with uppercase letters and then have lowercase lettering in the rest of the words. Level 2 is flush to the left, bold, uppercase, and lowercase headings. And so it looks like this in here. Paragraph begins below with intention, just like a paragraph. So actually, that's not what it looks like. It is. I'll show you what it looks like, but it's left justified. Level 3, indented, boldface, lowercase headings, and it ends with a period. So sometimes I see people put it above the paragraph, but it goes right in the paragraph, and that's where it gets kind of confusing. So level 3 is the first sentence in the paragraph, essentially, and the only word that gets bolded is the first letter in the first word. And then everything else is lowercase, but it ends with a period, so it looks like a sentence, but it's bold, and only the first letter of the first word is bold. Whereas in level 2, each of the words start with a capital letter, and then it's left justified. And then level 1 is centered, and the whole thing is bold, and each word begins with a capital letter. So here is an example. Level 1, methods, for instance. It's right in the center, it's bold, and it starts with a capital letter. So here you can see, this is the first in this example. This first heading is not bold in your paper. And so this is a paper about APA formatting. But whatever that first heading is for your major first paragraph after the abstract, the heading is not bold, but you can see that the first letter of each of these words is capitalized. And then in the next section, major section, this is a level 1 heading. You'll notice that each of the words are bold. Each of the words only begin with a capital letter and then use lowercase lettering after the heading. Sometimes I see people try to do all caps for level 1 headings, and that's not correct. So it is bold after the first time you use a heading, and then each of the letters, each of the words are capitalized and have lowercase headings in it. So this is an example of a level 2 heading. And you'll notice that each of the words start with a capital letter and then have consecutive lowercase letterings. And it is bold and it is left justified. And so here's an example of how this goes. You'll see in this paper that the writing in red here is notes about what's happening here. But the level 1 heading is experiment 1. That's a level 1 heading. And then it goes into the method, which is a level 2 because it is a subheading related to this level 1 heading. And then it goes right into a level 3, which you'll notice is capitalized and bold and in the paragraph. And here again is a level 3 heading because design is a subcategory of methods, which is a subcategory of experiment. So here is another example of level 3. So level 3 is in the paragraph. It starts with the capital letter. It's all bold, and it ends with a period. And of course, it's highlighted here just so you can read it. So again, here's another example where the level 1 heading is discussion in this case. It's bold, it's centered. Only the first letter is capitalized. A level 2 heading is all bold. It is left justified. Notice there is no extra spacing between paragraphs. This is just a normal double space just by hitting enter once after you've set up Microsoft Word using double spacing. But notice the first letters of all major words are capitalized, and then the subsequent letters in each word are all lowercase. So capital L, capital T, capital S, because those are all major words. Of, and, a, and the are not capitalized because they're not major words, but that is a level 2. It's left, justified, bold, and what we call title case. And then here you'll notice for level 3, it's indented because it's in the paragraph. It's actually just like the first sentence in the paragraph, but it is a subcategory of limitations of these studies. So technological limitations is a subcategory of this. And of course, this looks like this came from the Purdue OWL website. So this is a little screenshot of the APA paper that you'll find on the Purdue OWL APA website. But in this level 3, you'll notice only the first word is capitalized and the second word is not capitalized. So any subsequent words in a level 3 heading is not capitalized and it ends in a period. So hopefully that makes a little more sense to you. So some tips. Writing is meant to communicate ideas and get our points across as clearly and effective as possible. But no matter how informative your writing is, it wouldn't be as valuable if it is incoherent. You have to write in such a way that every part of your paper will have a logical sequence and sound structure to make it comprehensive and easy to understand. There are certain ways in writing clear and concise papers, and here are some simple tips which are useful for scientific studies. Of course, this comes from the APA website, the apa.org website. So first, state your points clearly and precisely. Second, integrate your parts with relevant and similar information to avoid repetition. Third, use an active voice. And fourth, organize the structure of your paper. As a writer, I think the most important among the aforementioned tips is the organization of your structure. Once you have a complete picture of what you will include in your paper, everything else will follow. So again, do double check all your papers to make sure that you've got your headings properly formatted. You need a level 1 heading in order to have a level 2 heading. You can't go from a level 3 heading right after a level 1 heading, and you can't just start with a level 2 heading. You need to have a level 1 heading above it. So hopefully this helps you understand better what APA headings look like and how to use them. They really are important in helping keep your papers organized and making good sense. And of course, APA helps provide a structure that we as writers can use to help us better understand some phenomena that we each are writing. So again, I'm Dr. Paul Gerhardt. I hope that you have a great day, because only you get to choose how you feel about it.